Do you think you have what it takes to make the best chocolate chip cookies? I'm sure you or someone you know has made chocolate chip cookies more times than you can count. But here's what you'll need to know on how to make these delectable cookies. There are hundreds of different recipes for chocolate chip cookies, so by learning this new one, you can share the goodness with your friends and family. Not only are these a sweet gesture to show someone you are thinking of them, but they are also great for parents with young children to bring to school for holiday or birthday parties. It's safe to say that I've made these cookies countless times since quarantine has started, and they've been a hit with whoever tried them every single time. I've made other chocolate chip cookie recipes before, but no other recipe compares to this one. By making chocolate chip cookies can be made easy with this simple yet delicious recipe. They'll knock your socks off. I'm going to be explaining to you what quality ingredients and measurements are needed, the proper tools to use, the correct techniques, and how to bake the cookies in the oven. Each of these steps are an important part of making these cookies perfectly. Before we get started, you'll need to gather these quality ingredients. The star of the show in this recipe is definitely the chocolate chips, so you'll only want the best of the best. Ghirardelli is a personal favorite of mine, so I always stick with those. For measurements, you'll want to use 1.5 cups. Grass-fed unsalted butter is next on the list. The brand doesn't matter, but you'll want to make sure that it's grass-fed. Be sure to soften the butter before use, and you're going to need 8 tablespoons, which is equal to 1 full stick. Next, you'll need 100% real vanilla. Don't skimp out. Buy the best stuff on the shelf, because you can definitely taste the difference. 1.5 teaspoons is needed of pure vanilla extract. Then 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You'll then add 1 heaping teaspoon of baking soda. Make sure that it's heaping. A pinch of sea salt, approximately half a teaspoon. And lastly, 2 cups of packed light brown sugar. Skipping this next step can be crucial when making cookies. You want to make sure that you have all of the proper tools. A KitchenAid stand mixer is highly suggested. Without this, the cookie's consistency will be all wrong. In my opinion, the mixer is a total game changer. A cookie scoop is also suggested, just so each dough ball is the same size and shape. It's overall faster and easier to use as well. Lastly, parchment paper should be used to ensure your cookies don't stick to the pan. Now that you have all of the necessary tools, you can begin making the cookies and practicing on the correct techniques. One technique that I never stray from is to follow the directions precisely. If you don't follow each direction to a T, your cookies will not turn out. In a medium bowl, you'll want to whisk together the flour, baking soda, and salt, then set that aside. Next, you're going to beat the butter and sugar in the mixer on a medium-high speed until light and fluffy, which is roughly 2 to 3 minutes. Next, add the eggs and beat until blended. The last wet ingredients you'll want to add is the vanilla. Add it and beat until thoroughly blended. After blended, turn the mixer on low speed and slowly add in the flour until mixed thoroughly. Lastly, add in the chocolate chips and beat on high for about 5 seconds to thoroughly and quickly mix in the chips. Another technique that I find helpful is chilling the batter in between batches. This keeps the dough from getting warm and runny, while also making it easier to scoop them onto the pan. Technique is an important part of making cookies correctly, but baking them in the oven is the most crucial part of all. You'll need to preheat your standard oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature ensures that the cookies cook perfectly for the allotted time. The final step is to bake until lightly browned on top. Bake for 10 to 11 minutes, then allow for cooling time, approximately 1 hour. Making chocolate chip cookies has been made easy by following this simple recipe. Hopefully, your cookies turn out amazing and you learn the importance of quality ingredients, proper tools, technique, and how to bake chocolate chip cookies in the oven. So if you have a sweet tooth and want the perfect fix, I would consider writing down this delicious recipe. They will satisfy your cookie craving and leave you and anyone who tries them wanting more.